everybody. I thought I would try something a little different. I got this idea from my friend Amanda Stewart. Please check out her channel. There will be a link in the description below for her channel. And she likes to do a random 5-question video. And, well, it's a snowy, cold day outside. We got 8 inches last night. We're due to get 4 more inches today. And since I am no longer employed again, I get to stay in my house covered up with my favorite blanket from my cousin Deb and a nice hot, I don't know if you can see the steam, hot cup of tea, which I'm going to let cool a little bit. And I thought I would do 20 questions because why not, right? I have to apologize ahead of time if the cats get in the way. But those of you who have seen me before, you know my cats run in and out. Those of you who are just joining my channel for the first time, welcome. My name is Gypsy, and I'm a single 50-year-old gal living in the middle of the woods by myself. Well, I shouldn't say by myself. I have my 4 cats, you know. I do have 4 cats. And there are ghosts that, you know, live in the house with me since my mother did pass away in this house. All that aside, I'm a little kooky. I'm a little crazy. But I hope I'm also a little bit of fun. And I hope you stay around for a little while. So I've got the conversationstarters.com random question generator, which... Thank you again, Amanda Stewart, for posting that link because it's pretty interesting and basically it's a way to help people get to know one another or to just start conversations about things. And I haven't done a Q&A since June, something like that. So it's been a while. I thought, well, instead of doing a Q&A, because I've noticed that some of my subscribers are a little shy. They don't like to ask questions. I've kind of found this out while doing live streams. I thought, well, I'll do the random question generator, and maybe that will answer some questions. So I'm going to hit the button and get a question. Do you have any pets? That's literally the first question. Do you have any pets? Yes. I have 4 cats. I have 4 indoor cats. I've always grown up with animals, and I've had a wide variety of pets over the years. I've had pet snakes. I've had pet turtles. I've had fish. I've had birds. Well, actually, my mother had birds. I was a little kid at the time. I'm deathly afraid of birds, but my mother raised and bred birds. I had a pet raccoon. Let's see, did I say dogs? I've had dogs, and of course cats. I think that's all the pets that I've had. When my daughter was younger, she had guinea pigs and hamsters, which I'm allergic to both of those, so that was interesting. Trying to think if I've had any other pets. Well, unless you include house spiders. I don't consider them pets. They live here with me. So that's question number 1. And I have a pen here so that I can mark off so that I don't go over 20 questions because I don't want to bore you guys completely. So the next question is, would you rather be blind or deaf? Well, I actually have been both. At different times. I think I would rather be deaf. Looking back, I was blind for 3 days. My cousin and I used to play this game called King of the Mountain, in which we would pull up weeds from like whole plants and throw them at one another with the big clumps of mud and dirt on them. And he threw one at me, and evidently I turned my head, and when I did, it scratched across both of my eyeballs. This was a time before I wore glasses. And so what happened was dirt got into those scratches and infected my eyeballs. And I literally was blind for 3 days. I had to, and even after that, my vision wasn't perfect. And for 3 days, I had to wear patches on my eyes, and they had to put medicine in my eyes. I had to stay in the dark. And, you know, it's interesting when you think you know your house and then you lose something like your vision, and you figure out really quickly that, oh, the chair is not where you thought the chair was. After I got my bandages off, I had to wear purple lensed glasses for a month. So they weren't sure if my vision was going to come back. I'm still a little light sensitive, which is why I wear transition lenses glasses to help when it's really sunny outside, so that my eyes don't get bothered. I currently wear bifocals. I can't see anything far away, and I can't read a book without my glasses. So I have problems with both. I also, as a result of that injury, and I was probably, how old was I, 10? It was like 10 or 11 when that happened. I have a scar in my right eye to the point where I don't have any peripheral vision in my right eye. Now, the deaf part happened when I had a sinus infection that actually spread to my brain, or to my brainstem. And as a result, I lost my hearing. I actually almost died from that infection. I didn't know you could die from a sinus infection, but I ended up in the ICU for a couple of weeks. And the way that I figured out I couldn't hear anything is I was sitting outside. You know, I felt so bad. I had been so sick, and I'd been throwing up. And, you know, the person that was taking care of me thought that it would be good for me to go outside and get some fresh air because it was kind of sunny. And I went outside, and I remember just like watching traffic, and a car turned onto our street and literally drove right in front of me, and I never heard it. I couldn't hear anything, and I started screaming. I couldn't hear myself scream. And the person taking care of me, of course, ran out because they heard me screaming and asked me what was going on. And I couldn't hear them asking me. All I could do is say, I can't hear, I can't hear. And I got taken back to the hospital and got put back in the hospital at that point, and given a whole bunch of more different types of medications to take care of that. So I have experienced both being blind and being deaf. I think, though, I would rather be deaf because I can read lips. So I feel like I could still, I don't know, still communicate. And I like colors. Y'all probably know that. I like colors, so I like to be able to see things. So there's the answer to that question. See, maybe I'll only do 10 questions because I don't know if you guys want to sit through a 30-minute video of me talking. Let's see, another question. What would you do differently if you could relive the past year? What would I do differently? I would probably learn to be even more self-reliant. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, learn to be more self-reliant. And mark off that one. I already got that question. What was the last gift that you received? Now, see, I don't know if they mean a gift like from a person or a gift like I get my subscription boxes, because my Kawaii box was the last gift I received. In terms of the last thing someone gave me, I was trying to think. Well, it would have to be Christmas presents, because I haven't really been given anything specific, you know. I shouldn't say nothing specific, but no one's come up to me and said, hey, here, I want you to have this. It was for a certain occasion. So I got Christmas presents. So that would be the last gifts I received. In terms of the exact last one, I don't know, because I get gifts from my son, my daughter, my son-in-law, my best friend. So, yeah. Okay. Next one. What is your earliest memory? My earliest memory, I was 3.5. And I thought I was a really big girl, tough girl, and I'm a little stubborn. And we lived in an apartment building that was at the top of a very long, steep stairway. It was a concrete stairway. And my mother and I had just gotten back. Magic, no. Sorry, he's trying to eat my roses. My mother and I had just gotten back from the grocery store. And I told her I was a big girl and I wanted to help her carry groceries. So she gave me a bag. It wasn't a big bag. You know, I was only 3.5. And I was carrying it like this. And I remember walking up the steps and I started getting dizzy. And I was almost to the top step. I was probably like 4 steps away from the end of the staircase, the top of the staircase. And I started getting dizzy, and so I set the bag down. Well, as I set the bag down, I guess my foot wasn't all the way on the step, and I ended up falling backwards. And we counted them later. It was 20 steps, 20 concrete steps. And when I fell backwards, I busted my head open, and I hit my chin. And I remember my mom screaming. And I remember I had a little yellow raincoat on. So I'm guessing the steps must have been wet or slick. It must have rained at some point, because I don't know why I'd have my yellow slicker on. But I had my little yellow slicker on. And I remember my mom just grabbing, I don't even know what it was. She grabbed something and put it on the back of my head and pulled the hood of my slicker up. And we went straight to the hospital. I don't even remember us picking up the groceries. We went straight to the hospital. And I remember when they pulled the hood down, all this blood came pouring down. And I ended up having to get stitches. There was also blood on my chin. And I remember they put what they call a butterfly bandage on my chin. And I got stitches on the top of my head. And I remember just having a really, really bad headache and not wanting to eat anything for a long time after that. So that's my earliest memory. Yeah, I was about 3.5. So I know these are long answers. I'm sorry. But maybe it'll help you get to know me a little bit better. Let's see. What did you do on your most recent birthday? Well, I turned 50 on my most recent birthday, which was last October. And there is a video in my videos that I took of what I did. I dressed up like a mermaid, or my envisionment of a mermaid. And I went to my favorite coffee house, which is Long Branch Coffee House. It's in Carbondale, Illinois. And I sat in the front window of the coffee house, and I invited people to come and have a cup of coffee with me or a cup of tea with me. And I literally stayed there from, it was probably 10 o'clock in the morning until about 6 o'clock that evening. And it was wonderful. Oh my gosh. It was probably one of the best birthdays I've had, because I had posted on Facebook what I was going to do. And then one of the owners of Long Branch, who is also a friend of mine and who knows me very well, she posted it on the Long Branch Facebook page and said, "Hey, Gypsy is holding court for her 50th birthday. Please come and join her for a cup of tea and conversation." And I had so many friends that came in. Some of them brought me gifts. Some of them just said, "Hey, let's, I'll buy you a cup of coffee." I was very fortunate in that Long Branch actually fed me for free that day, which was not something I was expecting at all. I was going to pay for everything myself. I wasn't expecting anything. It's just that Long Branch has always been my favorite place. I remember when Long Branch was a clothing store and I would go there. And then when it was sold to become a coffee house, I went there. And, you know, Long Branch is like home to me. So that's what I did for my 50th birthday, my most recent birthday. I dressed like a mermaid and I wore a little badge pin. I actually have it hanging in my bathroom now that says, being an adult is or being a human is complicated. Today I am a mermaid. And so, or time to be a mermaid. So that's, I wore that actually on as well. So that's what I did for my most recent birthday, my 50th birthday. Who is the most famous person you have met? That's an interesting question because I've actually met a lot of famous people. I have a knack of being in the right place at the right time. I went bowling, yes, bowling as in bowling ball with pins. I went bowling with the bands Poison and Tesla. I have met, let's see, gosh, my brain is, now, of course, now that I'm trying to think of all the people that I've met, I can't remember. Oh, I met Bernie Sanders, which that was fabulous. I got to see, I didn't meet him, but I got to see Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, speak before he announced his candidacy for president, because I live in Illinois, and of course he was a senator for Illinois, so I got to see him speak. Oh, why can I not think of her name? There's a really famous poet, and I have her, well, my son has her autograph. Why can't I think of her name? Oh my gosh, I can't think of it now. I basically have a list kind of people that of famous people that I have met through various things. Oh, I did see Black Flag before they were famous. So I got to see Henry Rollins before he became, you know, a big star. Because I was big into the punk scene in the 80s in my area, and they used to come and play at a place called the Lost Cross House. So I've met famous people and I've seen famous people. Dorothy Morrison, if you're a pagan, you'll know exactly who Dorothy Morrison is. I've met her several times. Same way with River Higginbotham and, oh gosh, who else? There's just been a lot. Seamus Heaney, he's an Irish poet. I got to meet him. I wasn't as impressed with him in person as I am with his poetry, but I did get to meet him. I'm sure I'll think of that other poet's name later. We're gonna go on to the next question. Let's see. What is one of your worst habits? I bite my fingernails. That's my worst habit. I bite my fingernails. I quit smoking many, many years ago, and now I bite my fingernails. So that's my worst habit. Are you a morning or a night person? Oh, I'm a morning person. I wake up 4:30 in the morning. I'm raring to go. Yeah, I'm in bed by 8:30 at night. I am totally a morning person, especially after I've had coffee. Speaking of which, I'm going to have a drink of my tea. I'm drinking Builder's tea right now because it's sweet and strong, and because it's so cold, I need that. Okay. What's the longest you have gone without sleep? Oh gosh. I don't know the exact amount, but it was probably close to 4 days. Yeah. That was when I was really young and stupid and, you know, would go out and party and, yeah, that, and I was just super high energy. I couldn't turn my brain off. So, yep. Alrighty. That's 10 questions we've gone through. So now I'm going to do 10 more so that we can call this 20 questions. Let's see. Would you be willing to reduce your lifespan by 10 years to become rich or famous? No. Nope, I wouldn't. I want to live as long as I am supposed to live. Okay. What was your favorite subject in school? I had two favorite subjects. They were equal to one another. English and art. And that's probably how I ended up being a crafty person and how I ended up with a bachelor's degree in English literature. So yeah, English and art were my two favorite subjects ever. And I write poetry, or I used to. I haven't in a long time, but I used to write poetry. What is the biggest physical challenge that you have faced? That's a difficult question because that can be interpreted in many different ways. Because I have chronic pain, I have fibromyalgia. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome type 3, which is a hypermobile syndrome. And I also have both osteo and rheumatoid arthritis. I'm always in pain. So every day is a physical challenge. But I think one of my biggest physical challenges is probably when I played roller derby. Because I wanted to prove to myself that even though I had, at the time, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and the 2 types of arthritis, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. So it was really hard. I mean, I literally practiced 6 days a week. It was very, very, very physically demanding and taxing. And, you know, that just, yeah, that was it. That was my biggest physical challenge. What are some things that you should not say at a funeral? Ooh, I don't know. I would say don't say anything that is going to cause harm to the people that are attending the funeral, especially the family of the deceased. That's what I would say. What did you have for lunch yesterday? What was yesterday? What did I have? Oh, I had a hard-boiled egg and some tea. And yeah, I had a hard-boiled egg and some tea. I wasn't very hungry, so. Ah, that's a lie. That's what I had for breakfast. I had cheese pizza for lunch yesterday. It was like a late lunch, early dinner. I had cheese pizza yesterday. Let's see. I'm not going to answer this next question because it would take 20 hours. The question is, what's your biggest concern for the future? I don't even want to touch it. What's the first thing you notice about a guy or girl? I tend to notice their eyes and then their smile. That's pretty much it. Eyes and smile. If you could meet anybody in history, past or present, who would it be? I'd like to meet Gandhi. Always have wanted to meet Gandhi. I've always wanted to meet the Buddha, Bodhisattva. I've always wanted to meet the Buddha. And of course, Stevie Nicks. I would love to sit down and have a cup of tea with Stevie Nicks. But I have other people too. And of course now the brain just goes and I can't remember anymore. But I gave you a few that I'd like to remember, that I would like to meet. What is one weird thing about you? I can turn my thumb backwards. And this is a result of Ehlers-Danlos. So I warn you now, if you're grossed by physical deformity of any type, turn away for a couple of seconds and I'll tell you when it's safe to turn back. This is my thumb. I can turn it all the way backwards. Can't do my left one as well as I used to be able to. But that's a weird thing about me. You can look now. If you turned away, you can look now. I would show you the other thing, but it would require me getting up and turning around, and I'm quite comfortable with my blankie, so I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's see. Do you read reviews about a movie before deciding whether to watch it or not? Nope, I don't. I watch the trailers, but I find that I tend to disagree with reviewers, and a lot of movies that I like, reviewers hate. So no, I don't read them or look at reviews. Let's see, which is better, being the boss or an employee? Well, obviously being the boss. I like to be in charge. But boss has a negative connotation to it. So I like to use whatever the proper terminology is for the position that you're in. If you're the administrator, you're the administrator. If you're the supervisor, you're the supervisor. If you're the director, you're the director. I don't like the word boss, because boss then turns into bossy. And I don't think that's what I am. I think that I am organized, and I have high expectations, and I never ask any of my, I have been boss before, and I've never asked any of my employees to do anything that I myself either have not done or am not willing to do. I'm the first person that will jump in there and do it with you. So, and you know what? That was 20 questions. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please say so below. And, you know, maybe I'll do this again. Maybe I'll do this a few times. You know, I think this was kind of fun. It helps you to get to know me a little bit better. And on cold, snowy, you know, nasty days like today, when I'm kind of feeling achy, I don't really want to film outside because it just hurts. It physically hurts. But I still want to create content for you guys. I want you guys to have something to watch and, you know, and to comment on. So there you go. I'm going to get another drink of tea and tell you cheers. And, yes, this, oh, I don't know why it turned it upside down, but this is the conversationstarters.com. Thank you again, Amanda Stewart, for telling me about that, because I think it's a fabulous tool. And today I'm wearing love on my shirt, and I'm sending lots of love to you. I hope that you are all safe and warm and healthy and happy. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Namaste. Have a great day.